that sold me something on eBay that said, hey, it was a handwritten note from a 12-year-old, that said, thank you very much for your purchase. We appreciate it. And it reminded me of when I was 10 years old, except I didn't have eBay and didn't have all these options to buy singles online. So it was refreshing. So it just shows you kind of all generations.
The hobby's exploding and the happiness is absurd. Dustin, get in here. Let's tell, Dustin, Dustin, how much happiness has getting into collecting Pokemon and flipping Pokemon been for you?
Hey, sports card collectors and investors, how's everybody doing today? I have to admit, I'm not doing great. I'm just going to be perfectly honest. I'm not doing great after last night's game. Don't want to take anything away from the Clippers. They played a very good game. Paul George and Kawhi were clutch, kind of per usual, but didn't feel real good about Porzingis getting the 2 techs and getting kicked out with 9 minutes to go in the third. I mean, really leading up to that point, once the Mavs got over kind of the initial jitters and the Clippers ran off a 10-0 lead. They were up by, I think, 16. I think it was 18-2 or 16-2 to start out the game. And then the Mavs finished the first quarter up by 4 points. Things were rolling along, and then that happened. And, maybe the Mavs could have overcome not having Porzingis, but probably not. Not against a team like that. Not against the Clippers, who are absolutely loaded and deep. I mean, that was a big, big loss for them. And I don't want to say, Porzingis should have been smarter. Certainly when he already had 1 tech, he should have stayed out of that scuffle. I understand he was trying to stick up for his guy, but oh man, it was just bad for basketball, really. It was bad for the NBA to have that happen. And I don't want to take away from, from the Clippers win. They did play a good game, but man, wouldn't it have been great to see what would have happened if we had Porzingis for 4 quarters. So, Luka again put up a stellar game. He got hurt in the first quarter. I thought, honestly, I posted, I was heading to the liquor cabinet, once I saw them down by 15 points, and then Luka's hurt and headed to the locker room. I was like, this series is over. And then at the end of the quarter, they're up by 4 points. So that just shows you how volatile the NBA can be. I'm excited to see kind of the rest of the series. Excited to tune in for the Lakers and Trailblazers tonight. I know there's a lot of Lakers fans that watch this. It's kind of hard not to root for Dame. It's hard not to like him. So if you're not a Lakers fan, then you're pulling for the Blazers, I feel like. Just to pull off that upset, and also just for Lillard to finally get some love. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think the Lakers are going to put it together. It's playoff LeBron time. I don't expect anything short of a spectacular performance. So we're going to watch that tonight. I will be doing a show live with Flipping Steve, another YouTube creator that I really, really like. Dude is hilarious, and he's got a great show as well. That's going to be Thursday night. I believe it'll be at 8 or 8:30. We're still trying to work it out. Maybe 9 o'clock. I know that coincides with the Lakers game on Thursday night, but we're going to have to figure that out somehow. So I'm going to go ahead and jump right into it, guys. I am talking about 5 cards that are trending, sports cards, and then we've got 1 mystery card, a type of card that I've never covered on this show before. So stick around. And some of these might be a surprise, actually, on this list. So I'm using the Card Ladder data tool. Let me just first say that Card Ladder is not the end-all be-all for data. There are other data tools. Market Movers has a data tool. Card Genie is an app that has a My Collection feature that also tracks eBay sales now as well. So that's a nice feature, a good app to get. I have both. So I guess my point is there are many different data resources out there. This is not the only one, and this is not the end all be all. Try them all. Pick the one that you like, and you know what? If you just want to go and do your own research and do all the eBay sold listings and track it on an Excel spreadsheet yourself, then you're perfectly fine to do that too. There's no judgment here. It's just that's the tool that I'm using is Card Ladder for this video and using some of their historical data. All right, first card on this list, Dr. J. Julius Erving, his 1972 Topps rookie card in a PSA 6. This is a card that's kind of bounced around a little bit. In early July 7th, there was sales at about $700, $777 for this card. It went all the way up to about $2,500 as of just a few days ago, 8/12, so August 12th. Almost a week ago. But there has been a sale at $16.99 here recently. So I'm kind of intrigued by that. Now with vintage cards, you have less transactions, just not as many out there. So this could just be a function of, hey, there was just someone got a great deal on August 17th. But I'm curious to see, though, if that is more of a trend. Is it heading downward? Is that card heading downward, or is it leveling off? Or is that just an outlier sale that happened? I'm curious to follow that because that's an iconic rookie card, Julius Erving's. So I wanted to keep track. I thought that would be an interesting one to talk about. All right, next up we're starting off with vintage here. These are all cards that I thought would be just interesting to talk about. I don't own any of these cards, but I thought that they would be cool because they're interesting cards, all of them, and they've had some recent action. So the 1954 Topps Hank Aaron rookie card in a PSA 5. This could be had as low as $1,700 to a little over 2 years ago. If we're going March 6, 2018, this card now is sitting at about $4,500, and there's been a little bit of volatility. I think it was actually up to $4,900, and then it's at $4,500. So again, kind of similar to that Dr. J. I'm curious to see, is this trending back downward? Or is this something where it's just, there's not that many of them? There's going to be some sales at the $4,000 mark, some at the $5,000, some at the $4,500 mark. So just curious to see how that pans out. All right, next up. I love this card. I don't own it, but I think that it is so cool. It's the 1993 Topps Finest Refractor Michael Jordan card. For those of you that were around, I'm 39, so for those of you that were around when these were being collected, this set screams 90s. The 93 Topps Finest Refractor, it's like the most flashy looking card on earth, but the MJ card in particular is really cool. There's also a cool like Barkley, Larry Bird. There's some cool ones. There's an Penny Hardaway rookie card in this set that's really, really sweet. So this one actually that we're looking at is in a PSA 8. And if you look at the end of May, so this is what intrigued me about this card. So with all the Last Dance stuff going on at the end of May, this thing was about $1,000. And a lot of the Michael Jordan cards that aren't rookie cards and so forth, 80s cards have retreated back down in price. A lot of them have. A lot of them were hyped up, during that documentary and then now have come down. This card sold recently about a week ago at $1,375. So again, kind of curious to see if that's kind of trending back upward, why is this one different than some of the other ones? It could just be the eye appeal for this card. It's just an awesome card. I mean, so it could just be that that Topps Finest set is highly, highly collectible and so remains expensive. But I thought I would talk about that one just because, like I said, a lot of those MJ cards after the documentary have come back down again. So wanted to talk about it. All right, next up, this card kind of shocked me on this list that is trending upwards. And I guess if you're looking at the price, it's not super shocking. But my goodness, Mitchell Trubisky's rookie card, 2017 Prism Silver and a PSA 9. So in February, during end of football season, this was a $12 card. They were giving these away at the end of the season. Even if you go back to last season, these things were dirt cheap. Now they're at $60. So I mean, it could just be that people are just kind of hedging on like, hey, Trubisky, maybe, they're playing the long game with him. He's had a couple, rough years to start, and maybe he catches, he kind of figures it out. Maybe he latches on to another team that's not the Bears, or maybe it is the Bears. Maybe he comes out, competes with Foles and Chase Daniel and makes something happen. But Trubisky just has not shown much. But, I guess if you're thinking, hey, it's 2017 Prism Silver, that's a popular set. That's the Mahomes rookie set. I just bought some Alvin Kamara rookie cards from that set. So, $60 is not a crazy amount of money for a graded card that's, Prism Silver. Now, they're all Prism Silvers in that 17 set. There are no base cards. But I thought that was interesting just to see Trubisky trending up when he just was not on my radar at all. All right, next up, a guy that has been on the radar, Cristiano Ronaldo's 2014 Prism World Cup base card. The absolute gains in soccer, guys, have been out of this world. I'm going to be talking more with Flippin' Steve about that on Thursday, because he's been talking to me for months about soccer cards, and I have not been listening to him, and it's cost me a lot of money not listening to him. This card in particular, this Ronaldo, this 14 base Prism. Now, granted, this is first year Prism for soccer, so this is kind of like 2012 basketball. 2014 Prism is first year soccer. This card in a PSA 10 was $125 at the end of April. $125. It is now at $3,200 and has been as high as $3,800 recently. The pop on it is 230, so there's not a lot of them in a PSA 10, but that's not necessarily because they're super scarce. They are scarce. There's not a massive print run on those, but the other reason why there's not a high pop is because people weren't sending them into PSA because they didn't think they were valuable up until recently. So people are just now sending those in now. So really, I think that'll be really interesting with this. I don't think this card holds price at $4,000. Because I think the pop report on this card will be double, maybe triple of what it is now in 6 months, because people are, I mean, if I had some of these, I'd be pumping these into PSA with how much they've appreciated. So I have to assume that before long you'll see 600, 800, 1,000 of these on the pop report, which, I mean, if soccer continues to trend upward, maybe those prices hold at $3,000, but I just have to imagine with more supply that, it'll level off somewhere. Maybe I'm wrong. Hey, look, there's, 13,000 Prism Luka Doncic rookie cards base, and they're going for $2,000, and they keep on selling. So who knows? But very curious to watch that. Very curious to watch pop reports in general for sports cards over the next 6 months and how that affects pricing, because there's just a lot sitting at PSA because of the COVID shutdown that we have not seen. And so I'm very curious to see what that does to prices, along with all the other variables that we talk about on the channel. So the last card I'm going to talk about, the mystery card. I've never covered one of these on this show. It's Pokemon, 1999 Pokemon Charizard Holo, and a PSA 9 from the Shadowless set. So these are very rare. I recently found about 100 cards that were $19.99 unlimited. I thought that I'd hit the jackpot. I found these in an old box that my mom had brought. I thought literally that, I was going to sell off and, we're going to go on a huge vacation or something. Not the case for the Unlimiteds. The Unlimiteds have some value, but not quite like these Holos and not like these Shadowless and First Edition series. So anyway, at the end of February, this card was sitting at about $1,550, $1,589. It is now up to $4,700 in a PSA 9. If you've got high-end Pokemon cards, these things are just rocketing upward. And, it makes sense. There is a lot of scarcity with these. There's a lot of scarcity from these first edition and these 1999 Pokemon cards, and people want that first series. They want the 1999 stuff. So really, really interesting. What do you guys think? Do you have any of these cards? Or are you targeting any of these players? I can't say that, I guess I'm always maybe looking at MJ and Dr. J. I don't really collect a lot of baseball and not vintage baseball. I certainly wouldn't mind having a Hank Aaron rookie card. I need to look into that. Maybe I'll look into a lower grade, even like a PSA 2 or 3, just to have one, because it's basically a piece of history you're holding in your hand, with that one. So anyway, guys, thank you very much for tuning in. We've got 190 sports card investing, collectibles investing videos on the channel. We're putting stuff out every day. We're growing like a weed. So if you haven't subscribed yet, jump on the train, and we will see you guys next time. Thanks very much.